Hello everyone, Plutonium here, and today we are gonna do a top 10 list. Yeah, we're gonna do that. You have to be thinking to yourself, when's the last time I've done a top 10 list? Fucking never. Never done a top 10 list in my life on this channel. Have never done one. But we're gonna do one right now, and it'll be my top 10 favorite Godzilla movies. So let's get right into it. Coming in at number 10, we have Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, All Monsters, All Out Attack. Now, I'm almost positive that I actually got the full name right, but we'll just keep it at GMK just to be safe. Now, this movie is a must-have for my list, at least, because basically, I think it has some really good battle scenes, you know? I like the roster. Baragon was definitely a different choice. He was a different way to go, and I really like that they incorporated him into this film. Now, I'm not too big on the story for this film. Just the fact that Godzilla's like basically powered by forgotten World War II souls, or I believe that's what it is. Unless you want to call them spirits, that's fine. I don't. It's just it's not Godzilla. It's not. It's not very Godzilla-like, but he still is Godzilla. These are Godzilla kaiju. And also another thing about this is this basically borderlines my list of being mediocre and good, because there's a lot of mediocre Godzilla films. Along with that, there's a lot of awful Godzilla films. So, I mean, yeah, this is coming in at number 10, absolutely. Coming in at number 9, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, why did this film beat out GMK in your top 10 list? Well, because I really I saw this film. This is my first ever Godzilla film I've ever seen in my life. This is how I was introduced to him, and I mean, I bet you guys have a special kind of bond with that one film that, you know, you can't say no to, and you can't say that was bad because you guys, you know, that was your first ever film you've ever seen. Kind of like how Goji Fan 1993 feels about The Return of Godzilla. I know he absolutely loves that film, and he'll defend it with all of his heart because that's the first ever Godzilla film he's ever seen. So this is basically the same situation here, except mine's not very big. Coming in at number 8, we have Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster. Now, I personally think this movie is probably one of the best in the Showa series, or the Showa era, whichever you prefer, because I just thought it was a great movie. It brought in three different characters from 3 different franchises. You have the Godzilla franchise, you have Mothra from her own franchise, which is really only one film, and you have Rodan from, which was one of he's his own franchise too, which was he only appeared in one film. But I just love the collaboration of like how Toho, you know, kind of brought these 3 monsters together that originated from Earth to fight against this alien being. I thought this was a great movie, and I personally enjoyed it. I think it was one of the greatest Showa films of the Showa era. Coming in at number 7, we have King Kong vs. Godzilla. Now, this film brought Godzilla its American fame, and I don't blame it. This movie was just great in a cheesy way, and it was definitely enjoyable. People back then, you know, you had 2 iconic kaiju or monsters. You know, King Kong, I can't really consider a kaiju. You have King Kong from America and Godzilla from Japan. And with those 2 combined, you were going to get basically, I don't want to say go as far as to say as a blockbuster, but a movie that pretty much everyone wants to see. At number 6, we have Mothra vs. Godzilla. Now, I was just fascinated by the way they choreographed Mothra and her 2 larvae. And I was just incredibly surprised by what they pulled off and how they made the egg break open and everything like that. I was just pleasantly surprised. You know, the plot was solid, the fights were solid. I'm in awe of this movie. Coming in at number 5, we have Godzilla vs. Violante. Now, I was fascinated at this movie from its story and the way they did Violante. I focused on really like how, and I just like am interested on how they do this stuff with these giant monsters, or just like these crazy monsters or kaiju, that how they really choreograph them, and it's just crazy how they did that with Violante. I've just think this movie was a really great movie. I know people don't think this movie's all that great, but I personally thought it was a really good movie, considering it's from the Heisei series. And you might notice that some of these movies from this point on, a lot of them are Heisei, but that's only because, well, the Heisei movies are the best of the rest of the movies. Yeah, sorry to break that to you. Coming in at number 4, we have a dark horse of all Godzilla movies, Godzilla 2000. Now, I find this movie to be insanely good. Why, do you ask? You know, why do I think this goes above and beyond than what everyone else thinks? Well, this just kicked off a crazy era, and I think this is what really, you know, gave us what we see in Godzilla today. I thought this had a great concrete base for the Millennium series, but the Millennium series didn't really continue to move on, to continue to that path that Godzilla 2000 created. Coming in at number 3, we have the Return of Godzilla. And wow, what a way to bring back the King of the Monsters, and to bring him back to introduce basically the most successful and the greatest era of basically the whole Godzilla franchise, the Heisei era. Way to basically bring back Raymond Burr, and to bring back a whole new storyline. It's crazy, and that's why I have this movie at number 3. At number 2, whether you knew this movie was going to be in the list or not, we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. You're probably wondering, how in the world did this movie get number 2? This movie is just extremely suspenseful throughout the whole thing, from Godzilla's son being born, to the first encounter of Rodan, to the first battle between Godzilla and Rodan, up until Godzilla dies. Yes, he dies. I have explained this before. He dies. We're not going to go into it. This is just my top 10 list of favorite films. Not to mention that my favorite monster in here, spoiler alert, Mechagodzilla 2 is in here. But anyways, this movie is just incredibly suspenseful. It has a lot of crazy things that happens in this film, like crazy connections that you just wouldn't think of, and that's why I personally love this film. You heard me right, love this film. At number 1, we have the OG Gojira. Now, just the evil, dark theme this movie has is just incredible. That's what makes it so great. Just the evil energy this film has makes it, you know, you can watch it over and over and over again and still completely enjoy it. That's what I love about this film. That's why it's my number 1 in this list. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also request another top 10 list. And I'll see everyone later.